Hello student, I'm in the marshy chau area. Do you know what is a rock right here? Let's have a guess. Map of the marshy chau, and then actually you can go there by taking bus from the Typo Market station, and it's a tombolo indeed, and it's linking between different islands. And then what can you find in marshy chau? First of all, a tombolo, but it's not about dynamic earth, so that I'm not really going to have a look about this. And then number three will be the mudstone, and also for the number four we are having some quartz ring right here, which is the symbol of the metamorphism in there. Okay, and then number five, and which is concretion, and then number six, which is the floating and also faulting. Indeed, most of the things that right here is not very large scale, and but it's really worth to have a look. And then if you have time, you can go here. But sadly, when I'm going to there, this center is closed because of the COVID situation. Okay, but what kind of rock we are going to see right here? Mainly mudstone, siltstone, sandstone, which is more or less the sedimentary rock. So do you still remember what is the formation processes of the sedimentary rock? Mainly, first of all, many students are going to say that, oh, because of the water and wind erosion, but before the erosion, we have to make the weather material present, right? So accordingly, we're gonna be careful about we're gonna be careful about the existing of the rare material and how rare material is produced. Then you have to, at the very beginning, you should tell me, oh, there's a lot of weathering in the Hong Kong situation, which is hot red climate, and chemical reaction is strong, and also for the coastal area or open area, the physical weathering is also strong. So accordingly, a lot of rare material is created, and then the water and the wind eroded to the lower course of the river, and then is transported to the lower course of the river, and then there will be deposition, and the deposition will taking place in the lower course floodplain, so on and so forth. And then in the floodplain, because it's having a continual deposition of sediment, so accordingly the lower layer of the sediment will start to have some liquefaction processes, or the compaction, which including compaction and also the cementation processes. Okay, compaction mainly talking about is in terms of physical, which is you are suffering a great mass, and then you are being compressed. The whole layer of the rare material is being compressed, and then also cementation, which is talking about the water is dissolving some of the soluble minerals in the rock, and then they are trying to form a dissolved, and then they are trying to reorganize into a different situation. So this kind of processes will forming the sedimentary rock day by day, years and years. What's more is actually we are having the quartzite also. What is quartzite? Which is a kind of metamorphic rock that is suffering both dynamic metamorphism, which is talking about suffering a high pressure, and then also we are going to suffer a lot of high temperature, and it is regarded as the thermal metamorphism. Okay, so let's continue about our journey of the marshy chau. Hello, and you can see here there's a lot of floating right here, and then you can see indeed right here this is the floating line. Sorry for the background noise as there's a boat just passing by and then the rain is so strong. But anyway, you can see the difference between the floating and then the floating is like this. Can you find any kinds of fault line right here? I don't think so. So you can find out, oh, there's some floating right here, okay? So this one is indeed a floating, but most of the floating it will be taking place on this type of rock. And do you know what is that? What is this type of rock? And some of you just showing me some of the rock sample in the Homesick Moon and telling me that, oh, this is a rock with the joint, okay? But indeed this is not the joint, indeed it is a bedding plane, okay? So if since I really cannot block the rock lah, but don't try indeed if you can block the rock if you try hard okay, just like some of your students try hard and then if you are going to do this and then I'm quite sure that some of the rock will be broken, okay? But Mr. Leung is not going to show you here because this is not the protocol of the, it's violating the protocol of the geopark, so I'm not going to show you. But indeed, it's not very hard, okay? And then it is you can see there's a lot of hole right here, prosperous, and then you can find a lot of shell like this right here. You can find, I'm not sure whether this is a fossil or not, but I don't think this is a fossil. But indeed you can find out that, oh, there's a shell right here, and then so this kind of sedimentary rock is full of fossil, okay, and they are very layered. And then how to identify different kinds of sedimentary rock? Indeed, I don't think you need to memorize the you don't need to memorize the whole what is the criteria of siltstone and what is the criteria of sandstone, okay? So but I will give you a measurement to showing this to you later, but I think this is how the sedimentary rock look like, okay? Hello, and then I just found some siltstone right here which is look like this, and then you can find out the grain size is not very large, and then it's going to be quite still quite hard indeed, okay? But you can see the grain size is much more smaller, okay? Much more smaller than the previous sandstone or mudstone, okay? You may trying to ask what is the type of sedimentary rock also, and then I'm just going to pick up a leaflet from the Geological Center, and then there are several types of sedimentary rock, and actually this one is the it haven't stated this is sedimentary rock, and this one indeed this is the metamorphic rock, and which is the highest I think this is the largest content of the metamorphic rock around Hong Kong, okay, in Marshy Chau. And I will try to find this later, but right here I really cannot find it. But let's start from this one first, okay? The mudstone, okay? The mudstone, I think right here a bit I think this is in between mudstone and sandstone, okay? You can find out this is quite similar to either one of it, okay? Because indeed mudstone and sandstone is not really is somewhat similar because it's just about the grain, okay? You can see there are some grain here, and it's just talking about the grain size, okay? And then some of it is larger a bit than the sandstone is smaller a bit than mudstone, and then I think this one is the in between mudstone and sandstone, okay? And then let's see others later, maybe I can find later, okay? And then finally I found some quartzite, I don't know how to pronounce it properly, and then this is a metamorphic rock,
sorry for the zooming. And then you can see the distribution of the quartzite, right? This one is quite linear, okay? You can see next to it is another type of rock, and then next to it is another type of rock. Can you find this? And then throughout right here, let me stand on some area which is more safe. Wait a minute, because Mr. Leung is standing like this, okay? It's moving, okay? It's very dangerous. Wait a minute, yeah. So I think right here, this is our this is a better view, okay? This is a better view for you, and you can see the entire rock is not same as this rock, okay? Entire rock. This one is kind of sandstone, siltstone, those kind of thing, okay? You can find it in here, and then sandstone back in color fine grained and then darker color. But this one you can find this a bit different with the entire type of rock, and then it's going to be form a series of metamorphic rock, okay? So accordingly, why is it going to happen is because right here maybe there are some faults right here, and then some of the wait a minute, let me stand properly first because it's a bit windy, and also Mr. Leung is just standing like this, okay? Still very dangerous, maybe I sit down to telling you this, okay? And then you can see this one forming like a fault, okay? Forming like a dike-like pattern. Do you still remember what is dike? Dike la, seal la, batholith la, lavolith la, all of them, lacolith, sorry. All of them are the intrusive volcanicity, and then so maybe there will be some lava or granite being compressed in between these two sediment layers, okay? You can see this is quite sedimentary rock, and then this one also quite sedimentary rock, quite layered. Can you see? A lot of small stone, okay? Because it is very weak. But for here, instead, you cannot find a lot of hard rock, okay? You cannot find, smaller pieces of rock for here, okay? So maybe this, I'm not quite sure indeed. 我唔敢寫包單話呢個一定係 quartzite, okay? But you can see the differences between these two, okay? And also, there's a very particular series of rock that developing from the original, which is like this, okay? 無端端突咗一大堆石喺度。You may find a lot quite funny is that there's a layer of rock that suddenly appear for here, so that I think this one is a bit different from the other formation of rock, and I'm quite believe that this is the quartzite, okay? And you can find out the this is John, okay? This I think this one is a kind of John, okay? If this one is quartzite, I'm not really sure whether it is a real quartzite or not, because it may also look like the sandstone, okay? Not sure indeed, okay? But try my very best and my understanding now, okay? You can see this kind of John is a bit different from here, okay? This one is bedding, and this one is John, I think, okay? So these two are having a quite large differences in between these two types of rock, okay? So this one may be the sedimentary rock, like this one, okay? Quartzite, okay? Metamorphic rock was formed in a quartz, grained in a sandstone, recrystallized under high pressure and high temperature and pressure, okay?
Indeed, there are more information about the marshy chau sedimentary rock formation too. Indeed, it is formed about in the Permian period. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but anyway. And on top of that, I would like to mention there's a lot of mudstone, steelstone, and also sandstone that I've just talking about, and also quartzite. Okay, quartzite. It is also very important things that worth to mention in your essay. Okay, if I haven't forget wrong, it should be 2013 and 2016, which is in the essay, which is asking which is talking about the rock cycle. So in between the rock cycle, mainly it is talking about igneous rock, sedimentary rock, and also the metamorphic rock. But quartzite, indeed, it is really in between the metamorphic rock and also the igneous rock. Since you should know what is quartz, right? Quartz is a igneous rock, and then a mineral that's always taken place in the igneous rock, which include the granite, and you can find out there's a lot of granite, a lot of quartz that in the granite, and then most of the time they will changing, because right here what is happening, because it's mostly it is in the originally before maybe 200 million years before, it is in a very underground layer for the Marshy Chow. But because of plate tectonic, the whole Marshy Chow sedimentary rock layer have been raised up, and then you can see a lot of flooding have taken place right here, and then accordingly some of the sedimentary rock rise up also, and then mostly the flooding will, in terms of Hong Kong, it will just taking place in the sedimentary rock, because sedimentary rock is having some how say elasticity to allow the flooding happen, because igneous rock and also the extrusive rock is a bit too hard to make it happen. Okay, and so accordingly, what are the characteristic of this sedimentary rock? Indeed, we can find a lot of plants and also marine animals, and then it is also indicating that the positional environment, which is influenced by the change of the sea level. So what's more, and then you can find a lot of different type of structure also. Okay, but I'm not going to talk about because it's out of the syllabus, but it's really worth to go. So when you are studying and you feel very boring, maybe you can find a day to have a rest and go there. Okay, and also when we are talking about the folding and also the faults, and right now you do have some examples to talk about it, which is Marshy Chow. Okay, and what's more, I would like to show why Marshy Chow is in the floating and faulting area. I would like to show by the general distribution of the geological map. Please wait a moment, and then it should be here, isn't it? I think it should be here. Yeah, so Marshy Chow actually is right here. Okay, right here. And then you may ask, what is the color related to the rock? And actually, you can see there are some light green, light blue color next to the Marshy Chow, which is right here. Okay, and indeed, it is related to some it's not yet granite, because this one it should be, I need to check out, but I think it should be sedimentary rock. Okay, let's see. Yeah, sedimentary rock, and then because it make up of the passing range also. Okay, because passing range is also right here, and then you can find out the this kind of sedimentary rock is categorized by granite indeed. Okay, which is the parent material of this sedimentary rock is granite. Okay, so accordingly, if it is soft, it may form Marshy Chow, and also even extended to here. And some of you have encountered a question which is talking about the buff head, 鬼手 Okay, not going to show here because the time of the video, but most of you have encountered a question which is asking what is buffhead, and all the way right here, which is in a row of series of fortnight as well as the compression area. This kind of sedimentary rock can be extended to chau indeed, but chau is a bit far away, and also chau you can chau, and then you can also illustrate that as an examples for the sedimentary rock formation. Okay, so accordingly, we are having a lot of sedimentary rock in the northern district of New Territories in this. Okay, the whole Taimedoc and also the App Chow, Cat O 嗰啲咩鴨洲啊、吉澳啊嗰啲咧，其實就係講緊呢個 area 咧。Most of the time, which is the sedimentary rock region. Okay, then I think right now you will have a better understanding between the distribution of the sedimentary rock. And what's more, for the faulting, you can see why they are faulting in the marshy chow is because the whole Tolo is in the center of the Tolo Harbor, and also indeed the whole Tolo Harbor you can find out there's a lot of fault line. Let's zoom into it. Okay, a lot of fault line. So accordingly, if we are having a lot of fault line, and then it will have a lot of depression, which including the water inlet of the Tolo channel, and also the shallow bay for whole Tolo Harbor. You can see the Tolo Harbor is full of fault line. Okay, so it's quite funny that why there's a very sudden water inlet within the Tolo Harbor is mainly because of faulting. Okay, it makes up the Tolo Harbor. What's more, it also makes up the Sha Tin Valley. Okay, indeed. Okay, so there's a lot of examples then, which is talking about the formation of faulting and then also the formation of sedimentary rock throughout the times. Not just this video. This video we focus on the sedimentary rock as well as the metamorphic rock only. And for the faulting, please stay tuned for the Shing Moon Valley, for the Shing Moon Reservoir as well. Okay.
You may find there is a floating also, and then it's just next to the fault line I just introduced before, and then you can see the whole things in a fault pattern. Okay, right there you see the color is very beautiful for the sky, and then you can see right there is indeed the Shing Moon Valley. Okay, right here. Okay, and this is the Shing Moon Valley, and then you can see the faulting is developed from the Tulu Harbor, and you can see right there is the Puffer Cove Reservoir. This is the Puffer Cove Reservoir. Can you see the dam right there? Maybe not. Okay, wait a minute. Zoom it for you. Can you see a dam right here? And then this is the Puffer Cove area, and then this one right here. Although there's a mountain right there, I know it, but this is actually the Tulu Harbor, where the sea coming from the Mill Strait. Okay, 大鵬灣. Okay, and then afterwards we are having Sai Kung, Lai Chung, those kind of remote area, rural area, and you can see Wukai Sa, and then the Mount Shan, and then Tai Shui Hang On, and then finally this is Sha Tin New Town. So you can see the fault line is developing like this. All of them are having a depression. Okay, the fault line is favoring erosion, denudation, those kind of things, and then favoring there's a fairly lighted landscape right here. Okay.
And right here is the passing range I've taken from the Taimedoc also. This one also made by the sedimentary rock, but it's the harder one, which is called a conglomerate. So it's forming nearly 500 meters height range, and which is called a passing range again. So why is it matter to understand the situation of the sedimentary rock and also the metamorphic rock? And actually, this is one of the paper that one of the essay that's taken place in the 2016 paper, and then which is the sedimentary rock changing to the metamorphic rock, and you can see the situation of the Marcy Chow is exactly matching with this question, okay? But in terms of the rock cycle question, you're gonna be careful because not just talking about the one-way changing and one-way formation, it is changing mutually. So which is from the sedimentary rock to the metamorphic rock, and then the metamorphic rock get back to the sedimentary rock. So for the Marcy Chow situation, I think you can find a lot of mudstone and siltstone, so on and so forth. Okay. And then for the metamorphic rock, the only one will be the quartzite. Okay. Quartzite. So accordingly, you can find the one that the quartzite range that can be found in between the sedimentary rock。咁你見到有個石英脈喺個兩排 sedimentary rock 嗰度啦，個沉積岩嗰度啦。So it is the quartzite itself is suffering a great pressure, and then it is going to change accordingly. So this will be a very illustrative examples for the formation of the sedimentary rock as well as the metamorphic rock. So it also can be regarded as the second part of the question. Discuss the significance of the nature of sedimentary rock in shaping the physical landscape in Hong Kong. Then you can see most of the time for the Marcy Chow, it is not really tall in indeed, but at the same while there are some taller hill which is made up by the sedimentary rock as well, which is the conglomerate made up by the Passing Range. Okay, so accordingly we can find different type of rock, and then also on top of the rock itself, different rock, and you can pinpoint which is the conglomerate making up of Passing Range, sorry. And then for the siltstone, mudstone, it may be made up by the pink chau, and then Passing Range, and then for the sandstone or shell 係頁岩 but it's not really in the Marcy Chow, but it make up the pink chow, okay, which is way far in the very northeast area of Hong Kong, okay, pink chow. And also the Marcy Chow, and then which is making up for the shell, and also the mudstone and also the sandstone, which is make up the very relatively lowland in Hong Kong, okay, and also along with some sedimentary rock in the Yunnan, those kind of thing, and then it's also made up by many plain in Hong Kong, okay. So northeastern part of Hong Kong is made up by a lot of sedimentary rock, and also what's more, Buffhead 啦，嗰個鬼手啦 ，okay. Buffhead is also the thing which is caused by the floating of the sedimentary rock. So along with floating, the sedimentary rock can also create different kinds of landform, just like the simplest floating, and then also the buffhead is also created by the floating, but after a long period of wave erosion, finally it formed a buffhead。鬼手咁樣就經過佢 floating 咗之後咧，佢亦都經過好多長年累月嘅 erosion 啊、denudation 啊嗰啲咁樣咧，就會 turn out 變咗一隻鬼手咁樣啦。Okay, so that's how we are going to talk about, especially right here. And then you may ask, how the metamorphic rock may get back to the sedimentary rock? It's also about denudation. Okay, 咁 sedimentary rock 點樣變翻 metamorphic rock 點樣變翻 sedimentary rock, which is just because of the denudation. Weathering take place and then the erosion rearing the rocks array and then accumulated in somewhere, and then after the cementation, liquefaction, and also compaction, it will becomes a very bedding planed sedimentary rock. So that is for the essay parts that I would like to mention throughout these cases. Okay, so you can have really have citation of the case that I've just introduced to you when you are having the DSE. Good luck.